Okay, you guys, good afternoon. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started with this recording. The whole purpose of this recording is to do the minerals and rock lab with you guys, kind of talk you guys through it. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna start with presenting my screen. The rock lab or the rock and mineral lab was in Monday's assignment. So well, let me open it with Kimmy. But on yesterday, again, we talked about what is a rock, what is a mineral. Okay, so make sure when you're doing this assignment, make sure you put your name in your class period. So according to the definition, a mineral is a natural occurring inorganic substance having a definite chemical composition and a repeating arrangement of atoms. Natural occurring, meaning is not man-made. Inorganic substance, not a living thing. A physical property is a characteristic of matter that can be measured in color, smell, texture, meaning how it feels, melting point, density, how heavy, and so on. And then our rock is a naturally occurring aggregate of one or more minerals. So the thing about a rock is it can be made up of one or more mineral. It can be made up of type of rocks, but not a mineral. A mineral just basically is going to compose of that one particular thing. Okay. So we're going to get ready to do the lesson. So it says in this lesson, students will compare types of candy to learn about the geological classifications. Students will classify and sort different materials by their composition and their physical properties. So what I have is I have different types of candy. And so what you guys will be doing, I'm just going to type in the different types of candy and then I'll come back and I'll show you, and you guys will need to do this in your lab as well. So one of the type of candies I have is Mike and Ike. Another type of candy that I have is Snickers. I have M&M's, M&M plain. I have, or I had, um, M&M peanuts. Let's see. I think, oh, I had gummy worms. Let's see. I also had, I think I had a Butterfinger. Butter. Kit Kat was another one. And what am I missing? Snickers, M&M's, Kit Kat. Trying to think. Ike and Mike, Snickers. Thinking Stanley. Oh, and then I just had a regular Hershey bar. Okay. And so what we did with this particular lab is with the Ike and Mike, we made basically an observation. Okay. And so I'm going to stop sharing this part and just talk about some things that you might possibly write down as it relates to fill in the blank. So first thing I'm gonna talk about is the Ike and Mike. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this. It is a small. So these are some physical characteristics that you guys may possibly want to write down. Small, oval shape, the color yellow. It smells possibly like lemon. It tastes like lemon. So what I'm telling you, these are all physical characteristics, physical observations. The things that I'm talking about now are again physical characteristics and observations. Observation, the color being yellow, the shape being oval, the taste being sweet. Now, with those different examples, and if you need to, while you're watching this video, if you need to pause it to kind of get an idea, then you can pause it and type in your information. But most importantly, you need to tell me, do you think this is an example of a mineral, or do you think it is an example of a rock? Okay. So that was the Ike and Mike, and all I'm doing is just taping it back up. And I might be going out of order. I'm just gonna do them based upon what I pull out. The next type of candy I have is a gummy worm. So let's again think about those physical characteristics. So we can say long, bendable, squiggly, chewy, gummy, and again, it has a sweet smell to it. It smells like cherries to me. We can also say that it has a sweet taste. These again are examples of physical properties and physical characteristics. Okay. Now, there are also observations, because whenever you deal with observations, you normally deal with the five senses. So me touching it, it kind of feels it may feel like it smells smooth, but it also feels kind of tough. If I was to chew it or taste it, it would taste sweet. You can talk about how it has little ridges in there. You can talk about the color. So these the colors are red and a yellowish color. So these are all again observations and physical characteristics that you can put down. So I'm going to go back to make sure you guys understand, and I'm going to share again my screen with you so you'll get an idea of what you could possibly put on your lab sheet. So on my lab sheet for Ike and Mike, I could put that it was yellow. This is an observation. I can put that it has an oval shape. Again, this is an observation. How do I know it? I saw it. I could put that it has a sweet, move this over a little bit. I could say that it has a sweet taste. Again, this is one of my five senses. And then again, I would make my prediction. Do I think it's a rock? Do I think it's a mineral? Circle what you think it is. Let's see. Let me draw. So I'm gonna circle what I think it is. You might think is a rock. Circle rock. I know that I did the worm neck. So, you would come down here and you would type the information in about the gummy worm. And again, I'm gonna stop sharing again just so you guys can see the particular candy, but I may have to step around because you guys are not gonna see, because the light in my classroom has went off. So I'm walking again so you guys can see. So the next type of candy that I'm going to deal with, just take this. All right, so I am going to all right, so it can stay fresh. So the next type of candy I have is the plain peanut M&M, and so I just picked out one. So some of those observations, you might want to say, hey, it's small, it's round, it's orange. Some of you guys might say when it's chocolatey. Okay. And so after you write down the various observations, then you guys will determine, circle if it is a rock or a mineral. Next, which is all the candy that I have left, because I used all the candy in the in-class demonstrations, but I have a Snickers, okay? And so let me just put my hand sanitizer on. So what you guys could say about this Snicker, you guys could possibly say it's made of caramel. It includes peanuts. It includes chocolates. So those are different things. It tastes sweet. Somebody said in class that it was breakable. So these are all the different observations that you guys could type in. Okay. So that's the the information as it relates to the candies. Now, again, I don't have any more of the other candies because I use them all in class. But if you want to go, buy the other candies that you guys are missing, you're more than welcome to possibly ask your parents to do that, and then you can write about those as well. All right, so I'm going to get ready to present again. And I am presenting again so I can actually tell you the answers or the correct answers. So, or I'm going to do one with you. Okay. So I'm going to do the Ike and Mike. Okay. And the correct answer for Ike and Mike is it is a mineral. And it is a mineral because it is basically made out of, you just saw just the one thing. You didn't see like, for example, let's use the Snickers. So let's go to the Snickers. Okay, so if I had to describe the Snickers, we could say, hold on, let me move this down a little bit. We can say that is made of, what I want to do. We can say that it's made of caramel. We could also say it has peanuts in the inside. We can say that it also has chocolate, and has chocolate. And so because the Snickers has all those things, Snickers would be an example of a rock. Snickers would be an example of a rock. Okay. Whereas Ike and Mike is going to be an example of a mineral because when you break up that Mike and Ike, you're not going to see other things inside. So hopefully this is giving you a good start to completing this. Okay. So when we talk about minerals, minerals are classified by, again, physical properties or physical characteristics. And we talked about some physical characteristics and some physical properties just in us talking about the candy, okay? So again, with the Snickers, some physical properties of the Snickle, again, it's made of caramel. It has peanuts. So again, like I said, these are some examples of some physical characteristics, okay? Now, the way you classify rocks based upon how it is formed. So, for example, if I say what type of rock is formed out of heat and pressure, you guys should tell me a metamorphic rock. So again, if heat and pressure is applied to that rock, then it is a metamorphic rock. Or if it's molten rock, it's going to be an igneous rock. So rocks are classified by how they are formed, and minerals are classified by physical properties. So the rest of this, you guys are going to have to answer these reflection questions and then submit this assignment to me. Okay, so this was the lesson from Monday, October the 26th. Okay, so that's that. Now I am going to go into today's lesson. And so today's lesson, which is Tuesday, with Tuesday's lesson, you guys are going to be responsible for reading mineral identification. And so basically what I did with this in class today, I talked about the different ways in which minerals are classified. And minerals are classified by certain properties. So the first property we have is color, okay, which is not one of the best ways to classify a mineral because many minerals have the same color, so that's not the best way to classify a mineral. So these are the two types of minerals. These both are quartz, but as you can see, one has a clear and one has a darkish purple color, but they're both quartz. Okay, so they're using other things in order to give them their name. The other type is a streak. Okay, and it says this is another type of physical property, and it says you can observe a streak by rubbing a mineral against a piece of unglazed porcelain tile. In this streak test, the color of the actual mineral is often different from the streak. So again, it's just a way to tell, or it is just another type of physical property to identify the type of mineral. This third thing we can use as a physical property is luster. And luster is basically how glossy or shiny a mineral is. And it says that luster is based on how light is reflected on a mineral's surface. Okay. So minerals that contains metals are often shiny and have a metallic luster. The fourth type is cleavage and fracture. And so when I think of the word fracture, I think of something being broken, like a broken bone. Well, it's the same thing with a rock. It's just that the pieces of the rocks are being broken. And with pieces of the rocks are being broken, if they break off in like a square shape or a rectangular shape or just a any of those shapes, okay, it's going to be considered a cleavage. All right. And so again, cleavage deals with pieces that have been broken, but they're flat along relatively straight lines. That is called cleavage. Whereas with a well, let's talk about this one. This is an example of cleavage. Again, flat piece of plane. To me, the way I'm kind of going around this, it puts me in mind of a square. But a fracture is an irregular shape, okay? And it occurs after minerals break, allows geologists to describe the types of fracture in certain minerals. So this copper is an example of a fracture. These types of they have like a Hackley fracture, which means they have jagged points. Okay, there's no uniform. They're unevenly split, so they all don't look like. Now you have some pieces that look alike, but then you have other pieces that don't. So that's why this will be an example of a fracture. The next type of physical property we have is density. And as I told you before, density relates to how heavy something is. This paragraph talks about two minerals that were the same size, but because the quartz has a low density and the galena has a high density, although they're about the same in size, because the galena has a high density mineral, then that means that the galena is going to feel heavier than the quartz. And in order to figure out the density, you do have a formula that geologists use in order to figure out the density of various minerals. One of the last ways that minerals are identified, and this is the best way. It is the Moore's hardness scale. And so the hardness means its resistance to scratching of minerals, which means like if I take one mineral and or take two minerals and scratch them against each other, the mineral that's not showing the scratch is going to be the harder of the two minerals that I use. Soft minerals rank the lowest on the scale, whereas hard minerals, they represent the hardest on the scale. And minerals considered the hardest cannot be scratched by other minerals, which gives them a higher rank. The softest mineral known is talc, and it has a rating of 1, whereas a diamond is one of the hardest, and it has a score or a scale of 10, and it can only be scratched by another diamond. So some minerals possess special properties that can be used to identify them. For example, if you were to compare two minerals, hylite and kysite, and I could possibly be saying something wrong, pronouncing it wrong, but you would not be able to tell them apart because they just by looking at them, they're almost identical. But in some instances, they have a testable property, which is called the taste. And hylite tastes like table salt. And calcite, it should taste like a rock or have a earthy taste. So that's going to be another special property to tell the difference between the physical properties as it relates to um classifying minerals. They have another special property in their mineral calcite, which it forms bubbles or carbon dioxide when hydrochloric acid is placed on it. So some minerals such as magnetite have a special property of magnesium. So ladies and gentlemen, what I have just went over with you guys is properties that are used to identify minerals. And it says, what are the several properties that mineral carry to help people identify them? Color is a property. Density is a property. Hardness, streak, and cleavage are all physical properties used to classify minerals. Again, minerals are classified by physical properties such as color, density, hardness, streak, and cleavage. And then rocks are classified based upon how they are formed. Now, that is basically the lesson for today. I am going to go back up and I am going to just talk about some other things that are in Tuesday's folder. Tuesday folders consist of a minerals self-paced lesson 3 through 5, a study guide, and an ed puzzle classifying minerals. So please make sure you have all of your work complete by Friday at 11:59, because ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of fourth quarter. I hope this recording has been helpful, and I hope it helps you with your lab as well as identifying minerals. You guys have a good one. Stay safe and bye.